Harrisburg City Council hosted an executive session prior to the start of this legislative session. We will conduct our legislative caucus, and then we will move right into our legislative session. I will call the meeting to order. Mr. Truesdale will lead the roll call. The invocation this evening will be led by Vice President Jones, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Councilwoman Davis. For communications this evening, we have 2 points of communications. First is a presentation on the 2026 summer programs hosted by Parks, Recreation, and Enrichment. Excuse me. The second is an announcement of a public workshop stakeholder series facilitated by the Pennsylvania Downtown Center. We will then open the floor for courtesy of the floor, followed by the approval of minutes for the legislative session that occurred on May 26th, 2026. Then we will have reports of committees. I will deliver the first report on behalf of the Administration Committee on the work session of June 2nd, 2026. Next, Vice President Jones, our Budget and Finance Committee Chair, will share his committee report on the work session of June 2nd, 2026. And then I will deliver the Public Safety Committee report on behalf of our Public Safety Chair, Councilwoman Green, on the work session of June 2nd, 2026. We have 2 ordinances for first reading. Bill 6 of 2026 will move to the Administration Committee, and Bill 7 of 2026 will also move to the Administration Committee. We do not have any ordinances for amendment or ordinances for final passage. We will move to resolutions. The first resolution for consideration this evening is Resolution 46 of 2026, which we will vote upon. Next, Resolution 47 of 2026, which we will vote upon. Resolution 48 of 2026, which we will vote upon. Resolution 49 of 2026, we will vote upon. And Resolution 50 of 2026, we will vote upon. Resolution 51 of 2026 will move to the Administration Committee. Resolution 52 of 2026 will move to the Public Works Committee. Resolution 53 of 2026 will move to the Public Safety Committee. Resolution 54 of 2026 will move to the Administration Committee. Resolution 55 of 2026 will move to the Budget and Finance Committee, and Resolution 56 of 2026 will move to the Community and Economic Development Committee. Is there any old business for discussion, council members? Seeing and hearing none. Any new business? Okay, I think I have 1 note of new business. Okay, if everybody is ready. The time is 6:25 p.m. I would like to call our legislative session to order. Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the roll?
Ms. Davis.
Present.
Ms. Green.
Present.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Lawson.
Here.
Ms. Rolls.
Present.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Present.
Ms. Hill.
Present. Thank you. As I had mentioned at the start of our legislative caucus, we are a little delayed in getting started this evening. Harrisburg City Council hosted an executive session to discuss our lobbying contract. Okay, so let's get started. The invocation will be led by Vice President Jones.
Thank you, President Hill. I would just say today, I know over the past week or so, the city of Harrisburg, is in mourning of one of our young ones being, again, taking way too soon. But I want to send a prayer out, a moment of silence for him and his family, and also a prayer for the other family as well, because, I think there was 2 lives impacted directly, and those families as well are going to be left to grieve and deal with that, and we as a community. So I'll ask you to join me right now for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Jones. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilwoman Davis.
Can we still please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
Thank you, Councilwoman Davis. For communications this evening, we have 2 points of communication. The first is a presentation on the 2026 summer programs hosted by Parks, Recreation, and Enrichment. We're ready for you whenever you. No, go ahead. Just a reminder, please turn the microphone on and move it close to you so that everybody can hear you. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Sanders.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Shipper.
We'll just give a general overview of the program. We'll give a general overview of the program.
So this year we're going to offer our summer enrichment program at 6 parks. The 6 parks, Wilson Park, Cloverly Heights, 15th and Vernon, Reservoir Park, 7th and Radnor, and Sunshine Morrison Park. The dates of camp, we start next Monday, June 15th, and camp will run until Friday, August 7th. The times of our camps are from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day. Our camp is offered for ages 6 to 14. Parents, guardians can register at harrisburg.recdesk.com. The cost for our camp is completely free for residents of the city of Harrisburg. We provide lunch in partnership with a Central PA Food Bank. Through our summer enrichment program, we'll offer different specialists that'll come to the camp to share different activities with the kids. These specialists range from basketball, art in the park, mindful movement, which is a yoga. Some of our campsites will interact with local vendors. For example, 15th and Vernon Park will work with Wild Heart, the Hill Farm, and do weekly visits there. Some of our camps will participate and learn to swim at Jackson Lick Park. We have some additional offerings as well this summer that I wanted to highlight. We also offer a summer enrichment evening program that takes place at 7th and Radnor from 6 to 8 p.m., and that is also from ages 6 to 14. We offer a tennis program that's at John Harris Tennis Courts, Monday through Thursdays, June 15th to August 6th. We have 2 different sessions each for the kids. Ages 6 to 10 will be from 4 to 6 p.m. Ages 11 to 17, the later session from 6 to 8. This year, I mentioned about the specialist basketball skills and drills clinics we're running. Those will be at 4 parks, Reservoir, Cloverly, 7th Radnor, and Sunshine Morrison Park. And those will be Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we have afternoon and morning sessions. Another program we're offering this year is Street to Stage Dance. That's going to be Tuesdays starting July 7th through August 11th. And we have a similar setup to tennis where we have age groups 6 to 10 and 11 to 14 with 2 different time slots for those respective groups. This summer we also have movie nights. With construction being done at Reservoir Park, we've shifted to 3 movie nights at 3 separate locations. The first movie night will be July 24th at Jackson Lick Pool. We're doing Christmas in July night, so we're excited about that. The next movie night we're offering is July 31st at 7th and Radnor Field, and our final movie night will be August 7th at City Island. Community Day this year is July 15th at Jackson Lick Pool. That is free for the community to come out and have a free day of swim. Any questions?
Could you please remind me of the deadline for registration?
Yeah, so we have kind of open enrollment. If you missed the first week, you can go ahead and register for the second week. This year, with the numbers increase at two of our parks, at Reservoir Park and 7th and Radnor, we are doing weekly signups, so parents can take advantage of that. At the other 4 parks, they can register at any moment, at any time. If they're only able to come to the last week of camp, you're more than welcome to register that week before camp starts.
And how can they can register through a physical form, or do they have to go through the rec desk?
Yeah, we would prefer going through recdesk.com just so we make sure we have all the appropriate contact information. If parents have difficulties signing up, please call the Parks and Recreation office and we'll help them get registered.
Excellent. I don't have any other questions. I will open the floor to see if my colleagues have any questions for you. I'll begin with Councilwoman Davis. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, President Hill. Good evening. Thank you for your service and for being here this evening. It sounds like there's a nice variety of activities for the kids this summer. I especially enjoyed hearing about the movie night at Radnor Street Park, and I think, where was the other two?
Jackson Lake Pool and City Island.
Jackson Lake Pool and City Island. Sounds like that's going to be a nice time. What movies will be shown?
Yeah, so for Jackson Lake, for our Christmas in July, we're going to watch Home Alone.
Okay.
For 7th and Radnor, since we have the new baseball field out there, the plan is to watch Sandlot. And then City Island, we're going to do it back near the 19th hole, near water golf. So we're going to do Jurassic World, the newest Jurassic World that came out.
Can I come out?
Absolutely, it's completely free.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Councilman Rodriguez, do you have any questions?
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this evening. And I appreciate you both joining us at the town hall and explaining a lot of this information on that day up at John Harris. But I have also spoken with Kev, so I'm privy to the program and just appreciate all that you do. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rawls, our Parks, Recreation, and Enrichment Chair. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. Well, I am in constant contact with everybody in Parks and Rec, so I did know mostly all this information, and I just want to say I'm just really excited about this summer. I would say, like, within the last year, you all have been doing just so great with the programs, the creativity, and just kind of bringing new life back into a lot of the youth programs in the city. So I'm just elated to see that. I did sign my daughter up for Reservoir, my youngest one. She will be there if she learns her multiplication facts. That's our our agreement. So she got to go to 3rd grade memorizing her multiplication facts. So if she does that, you will see her. If you don't see her, she wasn't doing them. So, but no, I'm just really excited. And I kind of really like the movies being in different places. I loved Reservoir, but I really like how they're like kind of going around the city. So I would definitely love to see that continue. That's just my 2 cents on that. But other than that, just great. Thank you for the creativity and just bringing that back to the city. So thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Jones, any questions?
Yes, I do. These were all my ideas. No. What I'd like to say, though, I do appreciate the creativity you guys are bringing, but I do have a concern. For any activity that's going to be on City Island, I want to make sure that we have transportation for our youth and anyone that's ADA accessible. So is there any way that we can look into some sort of transportation to get those families and young people back across that river?
Okay, we did not take that into account because it's Friday night. We would probably have a hard time coordinating that. We do have a field trip that day, but if you want to take the lead,
Yeah, absolutely. I would mind doing that. Seriously, I think with a lot of those festivities, the transportation is a huge issue for a lot of people in the city and around Pennsylvania, period. But just to have those young people moving back and forth from across the island. Again, some of their parents may be aging parents, and may not be able to physically get those children there. So yes, there's something that we can probably remedy to do that. But I thought you guys had it, but even I wasn't expecting it to be right now, but I think this is something that we can work and get to. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Green, any questions?
I don't have any questions for you. I look forward to the programs.
Thank you. Councilman Lawson.
Thank you. It does happen. I have a question, and we did discuss this somewhat on the town hall, but just because that's not recorded, who staffs the this summer program? As far as the actual parks, who would be there staffing the programs?
Yeah, so we onboard roughly 85 to 100 seasonal staff that works at the parks programs throughout the summer. That application process starts in February, and we're still onboarding and receiving clearances from the staff, and we place them to work at the program.
But particularly, are they just people from the community? Are they students? Are they retirees? Who's actually staffing?
We have kids that are graduating high school all the way to teachers that are working in the Harrisburg School District. Some employees that worked in our program for 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's a wide range. Some it might be their first job. Some it could be teachers that want to just stay active in the community during the summer.
Okay, great. The reason I was asking, because I know that a lot of them are like teenagers, and when Councilman Jones alluded to today during his invocation was, some violent acts that have happened within our city. And I was doing a little research and Googling, and major research has found that kids who are employed over the summer, and more specifically by the government, meaning us, they are 30 to 43% less likely to commit or be victim to a violent crime. This has happened. They found this study in Chicago, in Philadelphia, and in Michigan. So we're seeing like the work that you're putting in is going to help make tangible results to the lives of a lot of our youth, and even those teachers, because they're seeing the kids over the summer. So when we had that discussion, then I thought that was impressive, and I wanted to make sure that we had something that was on record and recording that we're seeing the good work that you're putting forward for the youth of Harrisburg. So I just wanted to make sure that that was a part of your presentation.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share? Anything you think we're missing?
Nope.
Okay.
President Hill,
Yes,
I have
Councilwoman
another
Davis.
question.
Sure.
Councilman Lawson triggered my memory. I wanted to ask, out of all the staff that are going to be at the various locations, are any of the staff, say, CPR certified? What requirements do they have to have in order to be eligible to be there with our youth?
So some of the site leaders are. Not every, the rec assistants are not, but traditionally at least one of the site leaders is at a specific
I
site.
can't hear you.
Typically, the site leaders are, as well as the pool staff are all certified.
The pool staff are all certified and the site leaders. So at each site, there is a leader that is CPR certified there in
Typically,
case something
yes.
happens with youth. Thank you very much. That's important. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. The microphone is on. I think you're hearing a little echo, and we're experiencing some audio issues. Okay. Well, thank you both for being here for the reminders, and we look forward to a safe summer season for our children. Thank you. Next, we have a special announcement of a public workshop stakeholder series facilitated by the Pennsylvania Downtown Center. We are joined this evening by Julie Fitzpatrick, who serves as the executive director of the Pennsylvania Downtown Center, and Iris Quigley, who serves as the content development and special projects coordinator. Thank you both for being here tonight.
Great. Thank you, President Hill. Thanks for having us. So we just want to give you a little bit of an update, too, on the process for the planning and the community engagement. Iris is going to give a brief update on the survey because that was the last thing we talked about at our last meeting with you. And then we'll talk about the timeline for the rest of the strategic planning process and the public meetings for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, good evening. Great to see you all again. I'm Iris Quigley. I'm the Special Projects Coordinator at the Pennsylvania Downtown Center. I did want to provide a quick update on the survey. So we have well over 4,000 responses to that. We have mostly closed it, but it is still open if there are any additional people wanting to share their thoughts. And we know that several organizations throughout the city have paper copies that they're going to be submitting over the next couple weeks. So great to just see that we're reaching that wide audience, and that number is continuing to grow. Of those 4,000 people, 800 of them did share that they wanted to be kept informed on the planning process. So we are going to be personally inviting those individuals to the public workshops that are taking place, just so we can maintain that contact and keep them informed as they wish to do so. So we are finalizing those responses, but super excited to see where that's going and how those responses will be shaping the conversations that are happening at the public workshops in the next couple weeks.
And just to update you on the timeline on the strategy, we are holding the public workshops as they're up on the screen in June. And July, we're going to really be spending that time crafting, kind of assembling everything that we've collected from the surveys, from one-on-one interviews, from the focus groups that we held within the last couple weeks, and particularly in May, where we had over 60 participants during those focus groups. And then August, we will have a draft of this strategic plan, so that the intent will be, the calendar of events will be that by September, we should have a final plan. So we can certainly come back, and many of you are part of the planning process, but we can certainly present to council throughout that those two stages too. So when it comes to the public workshops, we do have postcards for everyone. I think every council member has one by your seat. And then we do have 150 that have been printed and are going to be back by the door and available. There's over, I think we're at around 1,100 that have been printed so far that will be distributed in various businesses and throughout downtown. It will also be available through the website that we have here, and everything again is on the website or on the postcard, really leading folks to learn more information on Revitalize Downtown Harrisburg. .com. So the first one will be on June 18th. It is going to be at John Harris High School. Our theme of that night will be on the quality of life. And we're going to be really focusing in on all of those pieces that we're going to talk about community pride. We're going to talk about the elements of, what makes Harrisburg a great place to live and a great place to have a business, a great place to start a family, to retire to, and everything that means. It's going to be broken out into 3 different sessions, where there's going to be stations and opportunities for individuals to be part of activities. We're going to have a short presentation on the background and really to have a better understanding of community revitalization and building a community vision. And then we're going to have opportunities for those participants to break out into small discussion groups. And it's in those moments where the residents and the participants have an opportunity to really build consensus and really talk about some of the questions that we're going to be posing during those times. And then come back, share with the group, and then we'll move on to the next session on June 23rd. That will be at Camp Curtin, the middle school. That session is going to be really focusing in on public spaces and how we interact in those public spaces. We look at our first place as our place of work. Usually our second place is our home. Sometimes those two cross over. And then the third place is really those public spaces where we go to gather, where we go to meet up with new friends or meet up with old friends, opportunities for us to really come together as a community. So we're going to be focusing in on a lot of that on the 23rd. And then the third meeting will be also at our school here in downtown at the SciTech campus, and we're going to focus on economic vitality. And it's important to recognize that all of these topics are, really pertinent, whether, the economic vitality isn't just for business owners, it's for everybody. We all have a say and a role in this. And so we're going to give opportunities for participants, whether you're a resident, council member, represent a nonprofit organization, maybe you're a property owner, a business owner. So there's going to be opportunities for everybody to have input from their perspective during these public workshops. Again, we're offering them during the day. We're also offering them during the evening, so we can try to capture individuals who are available during those afternoon hours and those who may only be available in the evenings as well. And I think, the city has certainly been supportive, and, I think making sure that we're there in a school building and bringing new people maybe into that, these properties that if you don't have a student, you might not have had a reason to visit, but trying to create greater awareness too around the school properties. So we're looking forward to this. We would hope that each one of you would be joining us during those times. We would also ask for all of you to help us in inviting individuals. So please feel free to take a number of these and pass them out to all of your family and friends as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked when I learned of these last week. Will students be in the buildings? We know that school is closed, but will students have an opportunity to participate?
So they're certainly welcome and invited to participate. However, due to safety concerns for those properties that are offering summer classes, we actually have to we're not permitted to have these public meetings in the same building while there's summer classes. So, but they're certainly welcome, and we've certainly been asking the school district too to share this information and as outreach to those students. So encouraged, but we also have to, it has to be on their terms.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I understand. I just wanted to pose the
Yes.
question publicly again. I'll open the floor to my colleagues who may have some additional questions before you leave. I'll begin with Councilman Lawson.
Thank you, President Hill, and thank you guys for this presentation. I definitely appreciate the work that's been done, and it's ongoing. I don't have any direct questions at this, well, maybe just a little bit because of the survey, and I want to make sure that's public knowledge. You said we had 4,000 people respond to the survey, and I don't know that we made a big deal about how big of a deal that is for the
Yeah.
city this size to have that type of response.
I try to talk about it every day. We're actually, I think, up over 4,400. So I don't want to, discount those extra 400. So over 4,000. Typically, when we have implemented surveys like this in some of our other third-class cities throughout Pennsylvania, we will often receive about a tenth of the responses that you've received here in Harrisburg. So to think about that, it's 10 times more than we will typically receive for communities of this size. And so recognizing that there is a lot of interest and there's a lot of pride in this town. And it really, for us, we're seeing this as an opportunity to activate that pride. So very grateful for that participation. I think we talked also last time on the number of students who did respond to the survey and who were part of that survey. We looked at certainly residents, whether residents in the city, residents in downtown. We looked at the number of folks that maybe, work here versus only visit here. So we're able to kind of cross-reference that in a lot of different ways. As Iris mentioned, It is still officially open, so for anyone who, like we said, we do have some organizations who have been collecting the paper surveys from individuals who haven't had access to the online survey, so we're making sure that we're including all of those before we close it, in its finality.
Okay, and since you mentioned it, and I may be putting Iris on the spot, how many of those people were actually residents of the city, of that 4,400?
I believe it was about 1,200.
Okay.
So yeah, good numbers. Yeah.
That's great.
And then since we asked zip code, we can also narrow down to what neighborhood they were in, so we can see the respondents from downtown directly compared to Midtown, compared to Allison Hill, all of those things.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's impressive. That's everything that I have.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Councilwoman Green, any questions?
Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for the survey and for the work that you've done. Thank you for getting some of these workshops set up so we can have these discussions with people. I think Councilman Lawson asked one of my questions. My second question is just kind of, what is the hope of the outcome, right? We go through all of this. What is the outcome that we're looking for? What are we looking to do with all this information? Because a lot of times we'll have conversations, we'll collect data, and then it sits. So what's our goal?
Yeah. So we try not to call, sometimes it slips and we say plan, but we really talk about an implementation strategy. This is a strategy that is designed not just for one entity to implement. This is about partnerships, and this is about everyone having a role in that implementation. So part of having various focus groups, various working groups, various stakeholder engagement meetings throughout the process is that everybody starts to see what their role is. And I think that mentioning that there is a lot of pride in this city, and this is really an opportunity to activate that pride. One of the things that we're going to ask folks to do as part of these public workshops is to look at how each of us as individuals can make a difference and an impact in the future of Harrisburg, and recognizing that this is about one person, one business, one moment at a time. You can only do so much as council. You need the support of the community. Our business community can only do so much. They need the support of the community. And it's also about building empowerment too, and making sure, again, not that every voice is represented and every voice has an input into the process, but that everybody also sees what their role can be in that strategy and in the solutions too. So the plan is going to be set up in a way that it's going to take many different partners to implement it. And so I think we're going to also be holding ourselves accountable during that process so that it doesn't just sit on the shelf.
All right, thank you. That's the question I have.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Vice President Jones, any questions?
She stole my thunder. No, that was the same question I had. She's correct. There's a lot of the times, and we've seen this happen, not saying this is you guys. We can just take an example of the Harrisburg School District, where we spent a lot of time and money compiling a bunch of information only to go back to a decision to tear our school down. So hopefully that this information is scrubbed thoroughly and implemented in a way that is fruitful for everybody, all stakeholders. So that's all I have.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rawls, any questions?
Thank you, President Hill, and good evening to you both. I'm happy to see you back again with further communication on how we're going to revitalize downtown and some great meeting dates. So I hope I can make it to some of them. I put them in my calendar. But most of my questions have been asked and answered. I had the same questions and concerns as many as my council members. So I think just looking forward to seeing the information being used, that people's concerns and their ideas are taken into consideration, and it's just not them handing them out for free, but saying, I hear what you're saying, and let's see how we, can compromise to get these things done. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Rodriguez, do you have any questions?
Thank you, Madam President. No questions for me. Thank you for being here this evening, everyone.
Thank you. Councilwoman Davis, any questions?
Thank you, President Hill. No questions. I just wanted to thank you for working on this project and for organizing the workshops so that everyone, every resident, everyone who works in the city comes in the city to play. Our youth can have a voice and have a seat at the table in collaborating on what we all want for our downtown, for our city. So thank you for your work.
Great,
That's
thank
it for
you.
me.
Thank you. President Hill, do you mind if I just go back to a question that was asked earlier?
Sure.
Okay. Councilman Green, you had actually mentioned something about outcomes, I believe. And, I think there's the intended outcomes, and then there's those kind of unexpected outcomes. And, we could say that these are the things that we thought would happen as part of the process. But the things that are happening that I think are those unintended outcomes are what I believe is like a shift in conversations. And my hope out of that would be that we've, even during our focus groups, we had a focus group of the ministerium community, and we had, 2 representatives there who had never met each other before, and started having a conversation that they were talking about a community kitchen and what that could mean, and the needs that each one of them may have and how they can partner. And I think it's those parts of life, right, that are kind of informal, and they're sometimes unexpected, and you never know what could come out of that. So that would be our hope too, that this is just helping to spark and maybe be a catalyst for new partnerships and new conversations, and just people meeting each other that maybe have never had a chance to be, together or in the same room with one another. So thank you.
Thank you. And one final question on the hard copies of the surveys. If someone had an interest in completing a hard copy, where can they go, and is there a clear deadline at this point?
At this point, like Iris said, we are working with a couple organizations who had collected, and we want to make sure that those are captured. And then I think once we have that, we would like to just officially close and really make that announcement that, this is, we put the request out there, we kind of put that call of action out, and this is how the community responded. And so we would just want to make sure that we are capturing them. Obviously, with the timeline that we have in developing the plan, then in July, we'll want to certainly have things collected, before the end of the month of July.
Okay.
That would be like the, I
So
would
if
say.
someone's listening and they haven't had an opportunity and they have a burning desire
We encourage you to take
complete
it.
a hard
Yes.
copy, where can they?
So I would say really contact us.
Okay. So
you can reach out either of our emails, Iris Quigley or Julie Fitzpatrick at padowntown.org, or I'm happy to give my private cell phone number. It's 717-413-4630. So
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I just don't want to miss anybody in this effort. It's too big not to have everyone's voices captured. So thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Thank you for being here. I know
Thank
that
you.
this was a quick turnaround from my ask, but I just wanted to amplify this public workshop series because I know that many are still interested in having a dialogue around the revitalization process. So.
yes, thank you. And
Thanks.
there was a press release that went out, so our hope is that, others will be picking up on that. I believe it was sent out last Thursday or Friday. So, continuing to share, but honestly, with something like this, the personal one-on-one invitation makes the world a difference.
I agree.
So, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was just going to add quickly, we were checking out the Channel 20 videos just before we came, and would definitely love to see some promotion on there. And even for anyone who couldn't come to one of the public workshops, we'll not only have the feedback of what's going on the website, but also using that as a platform to keep people up to date. And yeah, I just keep thinking the time is now, the place is Harrisburg, let's make it happen. So thank you guys so
Excellent.
much.
Thank you. I'm happy to follow up with our communications to determine if they're available to participate or to utilize Channel 20 in some way.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
you.
Bye-bye. Okay, we will move forward with our meeting agenda. Next, we have courtesy of the floor. Just a few housekeeping notes before we begin. Please state your name and your address for the meeting record. If you don't feel comfortable sharing your address, please share the vicinity in which you live within the city. You will have 4 minutes to share your comments. Mr. Truesdale has added a timer to the screen for your reference. And I'll begin to my right. Is there anyone that would like to offer public comment?
Good evening. My name is Melanie Cook, and I live in the Riverside. Is it on?
Hold on, I don't think it's on. There you
There
go.
we go.
It's on now.
Melanie Cook. I live in the Riverside neighborhood of the city of Harrisburg. First, I'd like to acknowledge the presentation that we just saw. It is an example of what is possible when the governor engages in a city and sees that money is made available for projects. And I think it's important to note that this project is specifically revitalize downtown Harrisburg. And these public workshops, which are being held in our public schools, all of which are in neighborhoods that are not in downtown Harrisburg. And I say that not as total criticism, because I think revitalizing the downtown of any city is important. But I also don't think it should be lost that public meetings will be held in buildings where students last summer were held up to be the primary threat to downtown Harrisburg, and it was asserted that that's why people were not coming downtown. So it's, to me, somewhat ironic that these buildings will be the forum for these meetings. And while you can say it's open to the public, an effort has to be made to ensure that the voices of the public are heard. I applaud this format. I think it's an excellent format, but I think it's one that should be spread throughout the city. These workshops should not be focusing solely on public safety, public meetings, whatever the three topics are, quality of life, public spaces, and economic vitality. Those are issues that address every neighborhood in the city of Harrisburg, and these type of forums need to go forward on behalf of every neighborhood in the city of Harrisburg. With respect to the presentation by the Parks Department, many of you were at the joint workshop several weeks ago that included members of the school district. And one of the comments that I believe came out of Mr. Saunders was that the level of participation with the 11 to 14-year-old age group is somewhat limited. And a question was put, what can we do this year to rectify that? A recommendation was made that we would reach out to the school district, have them survey the kids, and find out what programs they're interested in and what would encourage them to more fully participate. And I don't believe any action has been taken on that. I'm not criticizing you or laying it solely on City Council, but we can't have these meetings, have recommendations made, and then not have the type of follow-up that leads to the action that Ms. Green just spoke of. We meet publicly in the city of Harrisburg often, and there's not enough follow-up. We need to engage the youth in our city. It is not enough, in my opinion, to acknowledge a loss. We have lost young men who we should not have lost. They should be here. There should be more activities for these kids. You heard the representatives say that one of the things that came out was the need for a community kitchen. Please know that that was recommended during the William Penn Task Force, CTE, Career and Technological Engagement Subcommittee. That was one of the things we recommended. The citizens of this town speak out years ahead of when other people who get the resources and get the financing. I come to you again asking this City Council to engage with William Penn. Anyone who is driven by can see that they have placed the fencing up, which presumably is going to lead to the demolition. I come to you because every member of this City Council has served for at least 6 years in a public decision-making capacity. In that time frame, the school district has had 5 superintendents, and only 3 people sitting on that current board have any experience. This is necessary that you engage. You are who we come to.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to offer public comment to my right? Okay, seeing and hearing no one? Yes. I didn't know if that other lady was. She said no.
I'll just take it off. I think, okay. Can you hear me? All right. My name is Pam Auer, and I'm a resident of Harrisburg City. I live on Pine Street, 124 Pine Street. I wanted to say, because I don't say enough in the positive, but The events down by the river are getting so much more accessible. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. This last one, I was able to go into just about all the booths, or at least get close to them, which was awesome. I do want to ask again, and I will always ask about a dog park along the riverfront. And I know I've talked to some of you about it, and any way I can help get that, I would absolutely love it. And I would get you names, if you want me, of other dog owners down there. We talk about it all the time, how desperately we want a dog park down there. Going back to my usual requests is accessibility. There are still some curb ramps that are really dangerous that haven't been fixed. There's been a lot of work in the city on the streets and things like that, but I'm not seeing the construction or the rebuild on some of the curb ramps where the truncated domes, the bumps, have giant holes in them, especially down by Yumburger or Burger Yum. I always say it wrong. Yumburger. That one is really bad, and a lot of us who use either a mobility device or a walker have talked about, worried about somebody's going to put their foot in that one big hole. Right on Pine Street, the corner of Pine and Second, those are bad, and those are areas where some of the city streets have had some kind of construction or work done, and they haven't been fixed. And I'm going to bring back again, my other request is for a way for the city to be monitoring the businesses that are come in and the accessibility, because there's still some businesses that are opening right along Second Street that are different from what the past was in there, and yet they're not being required to make even their front door accessible, making there's still steps to go in. That new apothecary, I can't say that right, and then there's the gold place on the other side of the street from them. You can't get into them, and they know it. Nope, we got no accessibility. So, if you can keep that, again, I'm going to keep coming back and bringing back the accessibility requests for my community, because we are part of this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the middle section that would like to offer public comment?
Good evening, Council. Libby Prophet from the Experience Incorporated, 2000 block of Chestnut Street. I wanted to share with you, I know a few months ago I came with a whole bunch of documents. I'm like, I need to do something with this. It's the advocacy work that was done by Cannabis Education Decriminalization Incorporated that helped to bring medical marijuana to Pennsylvania. And no, I'm not a smoker, but the need for freeing our melanated people was important. So I dropped off 2 of these copies to the clerk's office. The clerk has for council to go through. And it's in color, so some of the highlights from the research you'll find that is in there. But the research document, the founding, the organizing, even the letters from legislative parties, the ones that wrote the bill, as well as Congress individuals, is in there. Why I feel this is important to you, because I know you meet with individuals who wants to advocate for the city. And as we stand in Martin Luther King Jr. building, we know that the Reverend never really went to anyone and said, hey, you need to sign a contract with me for us to do civil rights action, right? And I can prove through this less than 200-page document that we can make change without coming to solicitate the city for money, because it was done, and no one can say they gave me a cent. But it was done, and here's the document. You have 2 copies. So I want you to be very careful with individuals that have a plan, right? A plan to help is usually how they come, but who are they helping aside from themselves, their bank account, and their mortgage? I want you to be very, very careful about these individuals, that have a plan to help you. Advocacy work, and people would tell me that there will never be a man in the White House. I wrote the plan. The government took the plan, and we had a man that was melanated in the White House. I walked the street. I got signatures, and this book has hundreds of signatures. I put copies in there that I did get and took to our legislators. I put slides together. I did the research. I took everything to them. I put it in here for you guys to see that sometimes you just have to see people for who they are, right? And not everyone that has a plan means well. So I wanted to bring this to you. There's 2 copies that I've given to Mrs. Truesdale for you guys to review. I couldn't really give you 7. I couldn't do 7. It's fairly expensive, right? And the other copy for the public, if you do want to see this document, it is named Driving the Monster, A Practical Guide to Grassroots Cannabis Decriminalization by Libby A. Prophet, Cannabis Education and Decriminalization. Like I said, I'm not a smoker, but you don't have to be in that community to know how to help in any situation. I may have been a smoker at one time, who knows, right? So please don't send me nothing, I don't need it. But this is just this is just documentation of what I've done. And if someone is coming and tell you, saying they're gonna help you, you can look through this and say, well, can you do this? Have you done this? Show me what you've done. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else present that would like to offer public comment? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will move forward with our meeting agenda. Next, we have the approval of the minutes for the legislative session that occurred on May 26th, 2026. Council members, are there any revisions to those meeting minutes? Okay, seeing and hearing none, the minutes stand approved. Next, we have reports of committees. I will deliver the first report on behalf of the Administration Committee on the work session that occurred on June 2nd, 2026. On Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026, the Administration Committee met to discuss 2 resolutions. Resolution 49 of 2026, a resolution confirming the appointment of Mr. Isaac S. Gaylord, Esquire, to serve as an Assistant City Solicitor for the City of Harrisburg. Attorney Gaylord was present to answer any questions council members had. Attorney Gaylord reintroduced himself, sharing that he is an attorney who previously worked for the City of Harrisburg from 2019 through 2022. Attorney Gaylord left the City of Harrisburg for a role with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. He was eager to return to the City of Harrisburg. Council members asked the following questions. What did you previously work on when you were employed by the City of Harrisburg? What do you plan to work on upon your return? Attorney Gaylord shared that his previous work portfolio included contracts work, land use matters, building code enforcement, and legislation for Harrisburg City Council. What was the main reason why you wanted to come back from the state? Attorney Gaylord responded that he wanted more direct interaction with people. The next question, if you see something wrong, how do you respond? He responded, it depends on the situation. In general, as a member of the Law Bureau, bringing the issue before Solicitor Grover is the first step. Councilman Lawson provided a comment and interest in working with Attorney Gaylord regarding an approach for absentee landlords, responsive homeowners. Attorney Gaylord noted that he was meeting with the Codes Department to discuss their legal process within the department. Resolution 50 of 2026 is a resolution implementing technical corrections required by the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System related to the passage of Resolution 34 of 2026, which ratified an adoption agreement for the non-uniform municipal employees retirement system with the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System to extend the superannuation retirement known as the Rule of 80, effective January 1st, 2026. Solicitor Grover was present to discuss Resolution 50 of 2026. He explained the difference between Resolution 34 of 2026 and Resolution 50 of 2026. The language is identical. Exhibit A of Resolution 50 of 2026 is the signed version of Resolution 34 of 2026. Exhibit B of Resolution 50 of 2026 is the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System Defined Benefit Plan Adoption Agreement Amendment that was signed by the City of Harrisburg. It is important to note that the adoption agreement amendment does not change the benefits that will be received by beneficiaries of the plan, but solely extends the Rule of 80 until December 31st, 2028. I recommend my colleagues support both Resolution 49 of 2026 and Resolution 50 of 2026. Resolution 49 of 2026 ensures the Law Bureau is at a full complement with Attorney Gaylord's return, and Resolution 50 of 2026 is the same resolution we took action on during a legislative session that was held on April 28th of 2026. Resolution 50 of 2026 will continue to offer the Rule of 80 to City of Harrisburg employees. This concludes the work of the Administration Committee. The next report you will hear will be delivered by our Budget and Finance Committee Chair, Vice President Jones, on the work session of June 2nd, 2026.
Thank you, President Hill. On June 2nd of 2026, the Budget and Finance Committee held a work session where we discussed Resolutions 46 of 2026, Resolution 48 of 2026, and Resolution 40 of 2026. Resolution 46 of 2026 is a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to enter into a professional service agreement with Mora and Dussel, PC, for the purpose of providing audit preparation services to the City of Harrisburg. Resolution 48 of 2026 is a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a professional service agreement with Boyer and Ritter, LLC, to perform the City of Harrisburg's annual audit and financial report, DCED, CLGS 30, for the year ending December 31st of 2024. Resolution 40 is a resolution of 2026 is a resolution approving the third proposed 2026 budget reallocation. President for Resolution 46 of 26, present to discuss Resolution 46 was Mr. Brian McCutcheon, the accountant manager. Not many questions were asked. However, Mr. McCutcheon did share with council that the city requires certain pre-audit services to be conducted in order for an audit to be successful. One of the questions that were asked of Mr. McCutcheon was in regards to the fee for services as written in the resolution, where the gross fee for this engagement shall not exceed $25,500. Councilman Lawson asked if the company would actually reach the aforementioned dollar amount. Mr. McCutcheon replied that they usually reach that amount or very close to it. Present to present Resolution 48 of 2026 was Mr. Brian McCutcheon. He's famous. Was accounting manager Mr. Brian McCutcheon. Mr. McCutcheon explained that this is a resolution tied to the Resolution 46, being that Mora Dussel does the prep work, whereas Boyer and Ritter have been the city's independent auditor for several years, starting with the year of 2019. Boyer and Ritter will prepare our annual audit report. These fees shall not exceed $137,500 for the year ended in December 31st of 2024. Councilman's questions asked. Councilman Rodriguez has concerns regarding why the work was being divided through two companies. Mr. Grover clarified that the two cannot legally be joined because each company has different areas of expertise, and the budget and that Boyer and Ritter is obtained by this council, and therefore they report directly to us, and that's why they are separate. Councilwoman Davis asked if the audit review would help City Council to better understand the true financial picture, including liabilities. Mr. McCutcheon said that it will to a certain extent, but that the budget process throughout the year would help in that area. Present to discuss Resolution 40 of 2026 was Ms. Katrina Baltimore, President of the Civic Club, CEO and founder of Pop's House, Ms. Shelby Kearney, Ms. Patricia Robinson, CEO of Evolve Youth Trades, Mr. Gregory Morris, President of the Harrisburg Cougar Midget Football Association. This resolution had already been passed, but the council requested that all organizations be provided line items for the monies requested and the monies used, which have been provided to council with the exception of the Harrisburg Housing Authority due to conflicting schedules. And this concludes the work of the Budget and Finance Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. I will deliver the final committee report you will hear this evening on behalf of our Public Safety Committee Chair, Chair Green, on the work session of June 2nd, 2026. Just noting that I'm only delivering this because Chair Green, she was participating virtually and had to attend to what she was doing, so she was unable to hear this. And Mr. Dorsey and Coach K had been here all evening at this point. They were like the last people to go, so I wanted to make sure that we honored their time. So please bear with me as I share this report. On Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026, the Public Safety Committee met to discuss one resolution, Resolution 47 of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a memorandum of understanding with the J.T. Dorsey Foundation to provide Soccer for Success summer camps. Deputy Chief Young, on behalf of the Harrisburg Bureau of Police, was present. He shared a brief synopsis of the summer camps. 2 soccer camps will be offered at the cost of $1,500. The anticipated participants would be between 30 and 40 participants, free of charge to city residents. The dates for the camps: the first one will be held July 21st through the 23rd of 2026 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. For ages 10 through 13. And then the second camp would be held on August 5th through the 7th of 2026, the same time from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. for ages 14 through 19. J.T. Dorsey of the J.T. Dorsey Foundation was present. He mentioned that he has worked closely together with the Harrisburg High School soccer coach, Coach K, and their goal is to create a solid relationship between the police and the community. Mr. Dorsey explained that through his foundation, his goals are mentorship, nutrition, and community engagement. He noted that the first camp, the one that will be held July 21st through the 23rd of 2026, will be held the week after the World Cup final. So he anticipates a lot of excitement and engagement from the participants. He mentioned courting high school kids. He mentioned female participation. Then Coach K mentioned the first girls high school soccer team, the first girls middle school soccer team, partnering with college and career education. That's part of that mentorship. The middle school track team had 60 students come out, so it's really an exciting time. An agreement, so the thought is that this agreement will resume over multiple years. Mr. Dorsey mentioned that he doesn't like to be in a position to give our kids something and take it away. So the thought is this is the beginning of potentially a 3-year partnership to start. So council members asked the following questions. What's the goal? What is the goal of a 3-year partnership? How will the camps be promoted? Will the CSAs play a role in the camps at all? Long-term organizational goals, how many participants can you accommodate? Would you be able to sustain if the city doesn't provide funding? Are you getting school district support? Are we seeing local participation from some of the kids playing multiple sports? Will there be officer involvement with the summer camps? So Mr. Dorsey explained that he and Coach K have created a very safe environment and a welcoming environment. They encourage and work with the football team. If Coach Cal is looking for a punter or a kicker, they're happy to offer a soccer player, right? It makes sense. He said they have a bilingual coach, which is helpful because it is very much diverse in ethnic makeup and conversation amongst the players. Again, he emphasized mentorship being an integral part of their programming. 4 of the 6 staffers are teachers in the Harrisburg School District. They have a large, this is in reference to how the camps will be promoted. There are about 200 students in their database, so they will share the information with them. Harrisburg Bureau of Police will provide social media support as well. The CSAs will be involved, and the officers will be involved with the camps as well. I believe Deputy Chief Young mentioned at least one officer that used to play soccer. It might be a few, but he mentioned one, so they're eager to participate. So I recommend my colleagues support Resolution 47 of 2026 as it provides an opportunity for our children to learn a new sport or continue to hone their soccer skills. They will have an opportunity to practice teamwork and, most importantly, have some fun. Why not? So this concludes my report on behalf of the Public Safety Committee. We will move forward with our meeting agenda. Next, we have ordinances for first reading. We have 2 ordinances for first reading this evening. The first is Bill 6 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Bill 6 of 2026, an ordinance amending Part 2 of the Legislative Code under Chapter 1-201, adding thereto Chapter 1-201.1, establishing a framework governing timing, submission, and scope of matters for items submitted to the city solicitor by city council.
Thank you. Bill 6 of 2026 will move to the Administration Committee. Next, we have Bill 7 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Bill 7 of 2026, an ordinance for giving and discharging 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026 city real estate taxes, including interest, penalties, and costs, and striking off tax liens for the properties located at 57 North 13th Street, 1435 Swatara Street, and 1437 Swatara Street.
Thank you. Bill 7 of 2026 will also move to the Administration Committee. We do not have any ordinances for amendment or ordinances for final passage. We will move to resolutions. The first resolution for consideration this evening is Resolution 46 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 46 of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to enter into a professional services agreement with Meyer Dussel, P.C. for the purpose of providing audit preparation services to the City of Harrisburg.
Thank you. Council members, are there any final questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 46 of 2026? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the vote?
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yay.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Ms. Rolls?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
Yes.
Resolution 46 of 2026 passes by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 47 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 47 of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a memorandum of understanding with the J.T. Dorsey Foundation to provide Soccer for Success summer camps.
Thank you. Council members, are there any final questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 47 of 2026? Okay, seeing and hearing none, Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the vote?
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yay.
Mr. Lawson,
Yes.
Ms. Rawls,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Hill.
Yes.
Resolution 47 of 2026 passes by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 48 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 48 of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a professional services agreement with Boyer and Ritter LLC to perform the City of Harrisburg's annual audit and financial report for the year ending December 31st, 2024.
Thank you. Council members, are there any final questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 48 of 2026? Okay, seeing and hearing none, Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the vote?
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yay.
Mr. Lawson,
Yes.
Ms. Rawls,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Hill.
Yes.
Resolution 48 of 2026 passes by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 49 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 49 of 2026, a resolution confirming the appointment of Mr. Isaac S. Gaylord, Esquire, to serve as an Assistant City Solicitor for the City of Harrisburg.
Thank you. Council members, are there any final questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 49 of 2026? Okay, seeing and hearing none, Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the vote?
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yay.
Mr. Lawson,
Yes.
Ms. Rawls,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Hill.
Yes.
Resolution 49 of 2026 passes by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 50 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 50 of 2026, a resolution implementing technical corrections required by the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System related to the passage of Resolution 34 of 2026, which ratified an adoption agreement for the non-uniform municipal employees retirement system with the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System to extend the superannuation retirement known as the Rule of 80, effective January 1st, 2026.
Thank you. Council members, are there any final questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 50 of 2026? Okay, seeing and hearing none, Mr. Truesdale, could you please call the vote?
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yay.
Mr. Lawson,
Yes.
Ms. Rawls,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Hill.
Yes.
Resolution 50 of 2026 passes by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 51 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 51 of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to enter into an agreement with Courtier Auctions to dispose of personnel property owned by the City of Harrisburg.
Thank you. Resolution 51 of 2026 will move to the Administration Committee. Next, Resolution 52 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 52 of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to enter into a reimbursement agreement amendment with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation to accept an additional award amount of $23,124 in transportation alternatives set-aside funding for the purpose of funding the Capital Area Greenbelt Paxtang Parkway Trail Restoration Project.
Thank you. Resolution 52 of 2026 will move to the Public Works Committee. Next, we have Resolution 53 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 53 of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to negotiate and enter into a lease agreement between the City of Harrisburg as tenant and AR Uptown LLC as landlord for the use of property located at 2965 North 7th Street, Harrisburg, PA, as a community policing station.
Thank you. Resolution 53 of 2026 will move to the Public Safety Committee. Next, we have Resolution 54 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 54 of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City of Harrisburg to enter into an agreement with Keystone Municipal Solutions to provide budget management services to the City of Harrisburg.
Thank you. Resolution 54 of 2026 will move to the Administration Committee. Resolution 55 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 55 of 2026, a resolution approving the fourth proposed 2026 budget reallocation.
Thank you. Council members, are there any final questions, comments, or concerns related to Resolution 55? Oh, sorry. I said that because there's a typo, so I wanted to make sure that the Law Bureau saw that. It's on the first page. Well, no, yeah, the first page of the resolution. It's the final clause. Be it further resolved that the mayor, controller, business administrator, it reads, and other all, I believe it should be and all other appropriate city officials are hereby authorized and directed to take all steps necessary to effectuate this resolution. So I just wanted to note that.
We'll fix it.
Okay, thank you. Resolution 55 of 2026 will move to the Budget and Finance Committee. Just got to keep everybody on their toes. Our final resolutions for discussion this evening is Resolution 56 of 2026. Mr. Truesdale, could you please read it into the record?
Resolution 56 of 2026, a resolution approving the preliminary/final lot consolidation and land development plan for 100 North 13th Street, in parentheses 112 North 13th Street and 105 to 121 Linden Street, along with associated site and access improvements.
Thank you. Resolution 56 of 2026 will move to the Community and Economic Development Committee. Council members, is there any old business for discussion? Okay. Any new business? Okay. I have one order of new business. Okay, so on the city's website, there is on the city council page, there is a blue button that reads Board and Commission Candidate Form. Mr. Truesdale will show you manually how to find it. There you go. And once you click on that, you can share your name and your contact information, and you will find a list of boards, commissions, or authorities of interest, and you just kind of check off what you might be interested in serving on, and then you can share any other information sharing why you might be a good fit for said board or boards. And you submit it, and it will be received by the clerk's office, and it will be received by our business administrator for review, and hopefully we can gain some new interest in participation on our volunteer boards and commissions. So just wanted to note that. If there's no further business, the time is 7:40 p.m. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. We stand adjourned.